continuation with my introduction. Most of this is in the introduction in my book, Grants and Subcontracts Compliance, the Pain in Your Assets. The ultimate goal to grants and subcontracts compliance is like dating and marriage. So as I said, there are countless grants and plethora of funding opportunities available that sometimes effective yet strained organizations decide not to apply for simply because they don't want to deal with the pain of compliance. They don't have the first clue of how to apply or how to report on it. They may have the person in the program office who is eager to do the work. I'm eager to provide this service, but I don't know how to apply for this grant. But even if I do get it, I don't even know how to do the reporting on it. So sometimes there are passive opportunities for that, even though it is possible to include a line item in your budget to hire someone to help with that. You do see in program budgets, you see a line item to hire the person to do the work, as they say, the program person, because you need someone to do the counseling, or you need someone to do whatever their service is that's being listed. But what sometimes organizations fail to put in their budget is to also have someone to do the reporting, because the program person may not be the best person to do that. As per my previous example, where you may have a budget revision, and because the program person didn't know what the actual financial costs were and didn't consult with the financial person, may have missed some actual costs. And so unfortunately, you'll see a budget that includes a line item for a program person, but excludes a line item for a financial reporting person. Well, let's fix that. Let's start including in the program budget a line item for a financial reporting person as well as the program reporting person. Because you usually have both sides in the proposal, right? And in fact, the monthly reports, you usually have monthly reports that are due for the program side, and you have monthly reports that are due for the financial side, the fiscal side. And so a better option would be to have a line item for both, and not just have the program person be forced to do both sides, because they may not be the best person fit for that. Just like the fiscal person may not be the best person to do the program side. It goes both ways. The program person may not be the best person to do the fiscal reporting. So let's start including that in the budget lines. So they're unsure of whether the current staffing capacity is equipped to handle the program reporting and the fiscal reporting, and so they'll kind of pass up some of those opportunities. Or perhaps an organization has tried a few heavy hitter grants in the past, but because of a real compliance pain in the assets nightmare, or and are now apprehensive of trying again. But if you start including those budget line items for that fiscal reporting person, you'll have less pain in your assets, because that person will be trained or receive training to better report on your organization's behalf. And I think that sometimes can be some of the issues, is that you have program persons, especially with the small organizations, you have program persons who are kind of forced to do both. I actually have been hired several times into a newly created position, because even sometimes with the large organizations, they don't have someone whose role is specifically to deal with the compliance of those particular grants, to make sure that, basically like an internal auditor, to make sure that how we said we were gonna report is how we are actually reporting, and kind of works with the program manager with those budget revisions and to do those tweaks, and that that there's communication in-house, because it's inevitable that you may have to do a revision. And to have someone in the accounting department that you can go to and say, hey, I'm going to apply for this grant, or now we're at month 6 for this grant. How are we looking in our books? I was in that position several times where I would attend monthly or quarterly or every 6 weeks. We would all meet. I would bring my printouts. They would bring their printouts on the program side. We have the various education or various departments, and they would bring their numbers. And it could be a meeting on new grants. It could be a meeting on current grants. It could be a meeting on we're closing out now. And because we're all communicating, it's less likely for it to be an issue. The program person who's preparing the proposals and the budgets is in the meeting along with me, who was saying this is how we're actually reporting on this. This is where we are with these actual numbers, and so they go back and reflect accordingly. That's how it should be. Yes, I've been in several newly created positions where an organization had a new grant award and lacked the staffing capacity. They had the program person, but not the fiscal person. Or worse, an organization had received a finding, and the auditor said, hey, you guys might actually want to hire somebody to come in and be your fiscal person. And so that person was me. I've been in that position several times. And so that's the reason why I kind of wrote this book, is to help me do my job. I kind of, went through it and did a help guide for myself and put some things together to help me, but also to help you and your organizations that you serve as well. And so that's kind of my introduction. I kind of went through the introduction of my book, and it's I would say it's a rewarding career to work in nonprofit accounting if you enjoy serving communities. Your natural profession is accounting, and you like working with numbers. Everybody does not have that mindset to work with numbers, but working in the nonprofit entity also allows you to work for a variety of professions. I mean, there's anything from, you have some hospitals that are nonprofit organizations, you have government agencies, you have the arts. I was the finance manager for League of Chicago Theaters, where I was, shared among 3 of their theater members. I mean, you can still work in your profession and just do it in a variety of areas, but the ultimate goal is to service the communities that you serve, but to work together within the operations of those entities to ensure that the funds that you're receiving are properly allocated so that you can continue to service the communities that you serve.